Oliver Cooper, thank you so much for joining me, first of all.
Fuck yeah, let's do
Yeah,
it.
it's going to be a good one. I mean, how long have you got? How long are we recording for?
Oh, I think to the break of dawn, yo.
We got there, we got it. Yeah, I knew you were going to say that. I don't know why, but I felt it coming. So, yeah, yeah. I mean, what have you been up to? You still acting? Yeah, what have you
Acting,
been doing at the moment?
still acting. I mean, you want to know what I've been doing since Project X?
Yeah, go for it. I mean, it was 13 years ago, so probably been doing a
Oh,
lot.
yeah. I mean, I've been just an actor doing a lot of different stuff, but I did a show, Californication. After that, Red Oaks on Amazon Prime. I did, a bunch of different bit parts in movies, and still doing a bunch. I'm always just wherever they will hire me, I'll do it. I'm that kind of
Yeah.
actor. I'm a bit of
Okay.
a as an actor.
Okay, so you're quite, flexible to doing anything and everything then.
Yeah, I mean, I did the show Mindhunter on Netflix. I like to try different stuff. I feel like, yeah, I have my Project X fans, and they love that character, but I also like doing other stuff too. I like, playing. I got to play a serial killer, and it with David Fincher, and that was cool for me because I also, I'm a fan of movies, so I love different types of movies, and Project X was the first audition I ever went on.
Okay.
That's
Oh wow.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Well,
First anything. I mean, I was green. I just moved out to Los Angeles. I was 19,
mm.
20, maybe.
How did you feel when, you heard back from the audition? I know this was going on, a long time ago now,
No,
but
no, I'll never forget that feeling. I mean,
yeah.
that whole experience was really a crazy experience. I mean, I could take it back a little bit. I was in an acting class, and I had found out that there was these, auditions for this new Todd Phillips movie, and I knew Todd Phillips from Hangover, Old School, Road Trip. A huge fan, obviously. Who wasn't? And and a kid at the acting class happened to be auditioning for Project X, and actually had an audition.
Mm.
So I asked him, I was like helping him run the lines, and I was like, "Hey, can I make a copy of these?" So I did. I made a copy of them in the, acting classes, like whatever studio. And I took them to my friend Sean Weiss, who was Goldberg the goalie from the Mighty Ducks. He was in Heavyweights with Judd Apatow movie back in the day, and he was the only person I knew. I knew him from the stand-up world, and he was kind of going through a rough time in his life, and he was the only person I knew that was even remotely connected to the industry. He helped me through like a 3 week period to um get an audition for this movie. Getting the audition was almost the craziest part of the whole thing. It was insane. Like we snuck on the Warner Brothers lot. We did like all this crazy shit that didn't really go anywhere. At the end of the
Mm.
day, he put an email or a text into Judd Apatow, who they, still had a relationship with, or he still had a relationship with, and got me an audition with the casting office. And I went in there, and it's funny, you'll probably love this. There's a scene, I can't, yeah, there's a scene where I give JB and Thomas drugs. I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you guys are gonna love this, whatever.
Yeah, it was
After
in
the
the bedroom, weren't it? Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember.
the
Yeah.
bedroom, the bathroom, or something. And that was one of the audition scenes, and I was actually auditioning for Thomas's character first. I thought when I read that, because they didn't send me the script, I thought that when I read it, I was like, oh, he's in the bathroom. He must be taking a shit. So I thought he was taking a shit with his friend in the bathroom,
Yeah.
and here's uh he's gonna ask his friend to tell his friend to take drugs or whatever. And so I was like, I gotta be ballsy. I gotta fucking go for it. So I pulled down my pants in the audition, and I'm literally wearing like tidy whitey underwear in the audition. And they were like, Oliver, I don't think you're right for this part, but I think you might be right for this other part. And I went in like 10 minutes later, and I read for Costa, and I was kind of crazy. I mean, I was like the first audition. This is literally the first time I've ever auditioned for anything.
Mm.
I didn't even have a real headshot. I had like a photo that I was taken in front of a tree. So originally I thought I was up for Thomas's role, and we are doing the scene, the audition scene. I didn't have the script, so I just was going off of what I had. For the audition, it was that taking the ecstasy, and I'm trying to convince them to. Or at that point, I was playing Thomas. So I was like the one who was
Mm.
like, I don't want to take the drugs. And I thought Thomas was taking a shit because it was in the bathroom. I don't know why I even thought that. Thinking about it now, it's pretty stupid. But and anyway, so I pulled down my pants. I'm wearing tidy whitey underwear. They were like, this guy's crazy. And then they were like, hey, the casting director was like, you're not right for this character, but why don't you come back in like 15 minutes, read these lines. It was for Costa. And I come back and I was just at that point in my life, I was 19, 20 years old. I was crazy. And I was really like, just, I don't know. I was full of like just crazy energy.
You had it
And
in you to do the character, basically.
what's that?
You had it in you to do the character, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I read it and I was like, that's I had a friend in mind and obviously it brought a lot of myself to it and I just did it and like I was improvising, making stuff up and he was like, Oliver Cooper, where the fuck have you been? And then cut to like over a span of 2 or 3 weeks, like I did like 9 auditions. And before that I couldn't even, there's a 3 week period where my friend Sean, who I mentioned, we were trying to get this audition. I couldn't even get in the room for that part. And like they even though they were seeing a lot of people, like I didn't have any representation. It was just we were a couple of kind of like outcasts trying to get an audition for this movie. And I don't know why. It's one of those things in life where I don't know why I wanted this role so bad. Um,
Mm.
or like why this thing? Why did this thing make me just go crazy? I couldn't stop thinking about it. I was like, I have to play this role. Even in my mind, I was like, who could play this better than me?
Mm.
Even though now I've been an actor for 15 years, I'm like, that's a pretty crazy uh, thought to have.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
Um,
of course.
so,
Um.
uh,
Yeah.
go ahead.
No. No. I was just going to say, going back, do you think you could have portrayed the character for Thomas? Like, do you think it could have worked,
Uh,
or do you think no? It's just Costa now.
I
Yeah.
I think that would have been a weird choice to be honest to have me
Okay.
play that character. But at that time, look, I could relate more. When I was growing up, I have two parts of me. I think there's the shy Oliver that was a bit more like I would have parties in my house in high school, and I'd be like, come. My friend was always coming over and fucking my parents' house up. I'd be like, no, not that, not don't touch that. Don't. My dad's gonna kill me.
Mm.
Blah blah blah. So I think I could relate to that a little bit. That element of Thomas, but for the sake of the movie, I can't imagine anybody, playing Thomas's role. I mean, like, and actually, I don't even know if it was Thomas at the time because I think they changed the name of the characters. It might have been some other name, I
Mm.
forget.
Wow.
But yeah,
Sounds fun, and going back,
oh,
it
it's
must have
amazing.
been a really exciting moment. I'm sure. Yeah.
Oh, when I found out about it, it was incredible. I mean, like, actually, the person who told me, because like, little known fact, or maybe you could find it online, but Miles Teller was the other guy up for Costa. It was like kind of me and him. And at this point, I don't know Miles Teller. Like the world doesn't know Miles Teller. He was just a young kind of actor.
Mm.
But even to the other actors, he was kind of like he had just done a movie with Nicole Kidman. He was a real actor, and I knew he was probably a better actor than I was, or he was more seasoned. And but I just thought I was like, I think I'm more right for this role. Like, he's too
Yeah.
cool looking. He's too good looking. And anyways, the way I found out about the part was like the last day they brought me in, and I read with JB and Thomas. I actually never met either of those guys. And then we went over to one of the producers' offices, and Miles Teller was there, and I was like, "Fuck!" I was like, "Damn, did he get this, or what's going on?" And he's like, Miles basically said to me, he's like, "Hey, I just want to let you know you got the part." So they must have told him that he was playing somebody else, and I was just like, "What the fuck?" My head
Mm.
was like spinning, and I can almost remember like various moments that day I found out. I mean, it was life changing, and even to this day, like it's not to say that like I became a billionaire or millionaire or whatever,
Mm.
but it really did change my life in so many ways. Like I don't know where I would be without that movie. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Has his personality left you yet, or are you always going to be Costa? Do you think,
I'm all
to this
right.
day?
I mean,
Yeah.
I think you always carry that around. I actually, funny enough, like I think after that movie, I was a little more like, and that's why I did this role in Californication. It was like this a bit more of like sweet, kind of lovable loser character. I was like, I really wanted to get away from playing the kind of like asshole or whatever. And I now, all these years later, I'm actually like more excited about. I was like, hey, I really want to do something like that again, where I could,
Mm.
you know, really play that. I see the humor in it. I really would love to do that again. I mean, even, you know, I don't know how much of this I can share, but we are trying to do a Project X too. I don't know if you saw the video that I put out, and
Wow.
we're
Yeah.
developing
Yeah.
something. I can't give too many details because it's
I
just
was
there's
going
a
to
lot of.
actually ask that. Will there be a Project X2? How close are we?
I don't know if there will be or not. I hope there will be. We have something going that's moving
That means
slower
there
than.
will be wink wink.
No, no, I really don't want to get everyone's hopes up. If people see this, they're going to hit me up a million times on Instagram.
Mm.
I hope there will be. There is something in development, but it's not like a sure. These things in development. It's like it's crazy until they really say we're going to do this, and it's been a slow process. It's been yeah, I don't want to bore everyone with the Hollywood ins and outs, but
Mm.
these things can be really really tough, and they take fucking ages to
Mm.
dealing with lawyers and blah 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 and all this crap. And so look, I hope so. I hope I can sort of reprise a version of this character at some point, but I don't know.
I definitely think there could be a Project XX. I think that would be
I
cool.
think
I think
so.
that
I
could
think I
work.
think it would be. I mean, we have an idea that would be. I think would be cool and really
Mm.
original and fun. And but that's up to people just keep talking about it. What's cool is a
Yeah.
lot of like high school kids and college kids. And I don't know how old are you?
I am 32. Yeah.
You're
So,
32.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
you're closer to my age, but a lot of young people all over the world, whether in all these different countries, still love that movie. And it's like, wow, fucking 18-year-olds are hitting me
Mate,
up
it's
and
going to be
saying,
going for years, that movie. It's just going to be one of those things that's always on repeat for like every generation, I think.
it's sad because I don't think like Hollywood recognizes what that movie did culturally or made,
Mm.
what kind of impact that movie made. I think it was like more of a, it was successful, but like a lot of people who saw that movie at the time were sneaking into the theater, going, paying for another movie, going to see that. And I just think that, yeah, Hollywood doesn't give that movie enough credit. And I think for me, Nima Norizada, who directed the movie, who's a good friend of mine, he's really the reason that movie, is kind of the stylistic element of that movie that makes it so fucking cool.
Mm. Mm.
He's a big reason for that.
There was a lot of things that happened in the original. Obviously, Project X was still on that page as well. There was a lot of crazy stuff that happened in that movie. Do you think if it was made now, it could get cancelled quite quickly? The movie itself, or do you think it would have to calm down a bit if there was a new movie, or
Good
could
question.
we keep the humor still? Do you think?
I do. I mean, I think there's a real look. I think the whole like PC, like people being so scared to say anything. I think that's kind of was a phase. Like, I think people want that stuff. Like, we
Mm.
want to laugh now. Like, you know, I do think there is an element of like, look, if you're making a joke, make a joke that's you know, you don't have to you don't have to be mean. Well, that's not mean spirited. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I guess you can. I think you can get away with most things now, and people want to see depravity and want to see all that shit. So yeah,
Mm.
if we're gonna do the movie, we're pushing to do it the right way and do
Mm.
it like if it's gonna get made. Nima and myself and the other people that are involved, we want to make the movie the way that
Yeah.
with the edginess of the first one. Now there might be some elements of stuff like you watch old movies and some stuff. It's like, ooh, that's a pretty outdated joke.
Mm.
It's like that
Mm.
just doesn't work anymore. But that doesn't mean you can't have like nudity. It doesn't mean you can't have crazy shit happen. It doesn't mean the characters can't say things that are inappropriate because that's the way people talk.
Mm. Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Well. I mean, some movies sort of change story. Sometimes it's not as funny the second or third time. Do you think it can still be funny? This one, like, do you think we can keep the
Well,
energy going? Because the storylines change in certain movies, don't they?
right,
And
right. The versions of what I would want to do if I'm involved with this movie is like I would want to do it in a way where it's not just a repeat party with these, just this thing. You have to, I don't know if you guys saw, I don't know if people saw the video that Nima and I made online, but
Mm.
that's really. that's the version. That's the putting a spin on the character,
Mm,
and putting a spin in the world where it's like giving it some sort of realism that maybe wasn't even in the first one,
mm.
or just even if this isn't even if that idea isn't the one that we end up doing, and someone else remakes this movie down the road, it's like, yeah, I just think you got to get creative about how you do it. You can't just try to make the three guys now all grown up making a party. Like that's just, I don't know. That
But
doesn't
no,
seem
it could still work. I think all the cast coming back, I think that'd be pretty cool to see.
no, no. Well,
Yeah.
want everyone to come back, but it's got to be done in a way that doesn't feel just like a repeat, like
Mm,
or like something that you've seen in like American Pie, or it's just got to be done in a creative, clever way that makes it feel fresh.
mm,
And yeah, so that's the tricky part, honestly, and we're still trying to figure out all that stuff. And there's, yeah, like I said, there's a lot of pieces at play, but
of course. I mean, going back to the original, like, what was the atmosphere like filming on set? Did it really feel like how the movie was shown when you were filming at that time, going back?
it's funny. Yeah, it really did, because what they did was it was really smart. We shot the movie on most of the party stuff on, or all of the party stuff really, on the back lot at Warner Brothers, which is like an old neighborhood. And they've shot a lot of movies back there, but literally you drive through there, it feels like a
Mm,
real neighborhood. Like Lethal Weapon and all these movies shot back there, and they had built this house. Or maybe I don't know how much the house was there, but basically they built this house and designed it and did all the interiors, and then we did the movie in order, and we just destroyed the house as we went along. And
wow.
actually, the director Nima had done a Dita's house party commercial, which was pretty popular, and he shot in that exact same house or that location. And but anyways, they had a DJ on set who was Jesse Marco, who played DJ Jesse Marco in the
Mm,
movie, and he would literally, in between takes, it would be like hitting the fucking music and playing, and the different extras. There was a shit ton of extras on this movie, probably like 300, and they were all young, and they all were like I think Nima and whoever else picked them. It wasn't just like, hey, we need extras today. It was like, these people, we need to like really have the right extras and the right people in the movie, and they play a big part of the movie, and they were going wild. I don't even know what they were up to. I mean, it's not like I wasn't like hanging out with them too
mm,
much, but they were their own entity, and they were probably partying. They looked like they were partying. I
yeah.
don't, no, not legally, but they were partying in between takes, and like it really felt like a party.
Mm,
That's like the best way to put it. It felt like a party when you're doing that. I remember that scene where it's like, to the break of dawn, yo,
yeah.
and I come out, dude. That shit, like, the back, I could feel the hairs on the back of my neck. It was like
Mm,
that place just erupted. That was real. Like, a lot of that stuff was pretty insane,
yeah.
and a lot of stuff happened. I remember even doing the cop scene, and I was doing that cop scene. And I was like, I kept fucking up my lines. I could not remember my lines, and I was getting really,
Yeah.
like, I was a green actor, so I was getting really nervous. And I was like, oh shit, I'm like, I don't want to get fired, blah blah blah. And I could, even that nervous energy probably added a shit ton to that scene. There's just things like that are kind of, looking back on it, are cool now. But
Mm, mm. What was your most favorite line from the movie? I know you've got a few, so there must be a couple of others that you had as a favorite that still stick.
ooh, that's a good question. That's a good question. Mm, I mean, there's always, to the break of dawn, yo.
Yeah.
Make sure you wear something tight. That's just a ridiculous line. And what was
Yeah.
I can't even remember the one, but I did love one. Was the I've been an adult since my 13th birthday, something like that.
Yeah.
I can't remember the whole line, but the one where I'm talking to the cop is always a good laugh.
Mm,
But yeah, dude, so many. I actually hadn't seen the movie in a long time, and we did this big screening at the Egyptian Theater here in LA, which was like, all the cast came. We did a Q&A. It was awesome.
mm.
500 people, sold out. Like,
Wow.
it was cool. It was awesome seeing it on the big screen. I had not seen that movie in a way that I could enjoy it maybe ever like that. So it was cool.
Yeah, we need a cinema re-release as well, I think, for the original. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, that would be, maybe if we ever do the sequel, we
Mm,
could do like something like that. But yeah.
mm.
Mm.
Wow. Yeah, no, with the stunt scenes, obviously they were doubles. Let me start that again. With the stunt scenes, obviously there were stunt doubles jumping off the roof, unless it really was you. I mean, it could have been. How was all that filmed? You know,
I
when
don't
the
think I
pool.
jumped. I
Yeah.
didn't jump,
Oh, yeah,
right?
you didn't jump, did you? It
The other
was.
two guys jumped.
Yeah, yeah, it was Thomas and JB. That was it. Yeah.
The
Um.
stunts, we all did have doubles, and they all were like, they looked actually just like it, which was crazy. But uh, what was your question? Sorry, I
Yeah,
lost my.
no, no. It was like how it was filmed with the stunt doubles if you were there. And you know, like
Yeah,
when the car went into the pool as well, and
that was crazy.
yeah, and the
Like,
riot scene as well. That'd be interesting to know about.
well, so the stunts thing, they were really doing the stunts. I mean, they
Mm,
really jumped. They really, and I think JB's stunt guy was like, he was like, they had a wig on him and shit, but he was like 50. You're not gonna find a stunt guy that's like overweight. That's whatever. It's hard to find someone exactly to look like him. Um, So yeah, they did those jumps off the roof. I remember onto the bouncy house. I remember a guy got hit by a car. I remember a skateboarder going through like the glass. That was crazy. I mean, they're really doing that shit. The stunt guys are crazy, and amazing what they can do. And the car one, I was there because I was part of it. I mean, I was like off, like I see the car coming by and I like dodge out of the way or whatever.
mm,
Um, they had it on. I don't. I They had it on like a like some sort of like rig that was a like a metal, or I don't know, like a chain or something. So it wasn't actually a driving car. It was like, but it fucking came by. It came fast. I mean,
mm,
it really came like probably as fast as you see in the movie. It was like that. And I remember someone almost like getting hit and having to dodge. I think those were all the guys that were in the way that almost get hit are stunt guys. But it was super dangerous and super. I mean, it was a real stunt. I mean, it
yeah,
was it was awesome to watch as like,
yeah,
20-year old doing his first movie. I was like, this is fucking
yeah.
amazing.
Insane
Um,
movie. Yeah. Were there any injuries throughout the movie that
don't
you think?
remember. I do kind of vaguely remember maybe one of the skateboarders getting a little injured, but no one got
Mm,
severely injured. Like no,
yeah.
no. I think maybe some light things here and there, but no, nothing crazy.
Okay.
Yeah,
Portraying Costa, were there any scenes that you regret, filming for his character? I mean, there's always something that
things
you
that I
sort of,
said.
yeah, said or, filmed, scenes that you filmed. Was there anything you regretted portraying Costa in the movie?
I don't love the idea of regretting something because it's like, listen, everything is a time capsule when you talk
Mm,
about movies, and like, is there things I wouldn't maybe I'd probably like we shouldn't say that today? Yeah,
mm,
probably. Um uh but at the time, like that's what listen, I'm a 20-year-old actor at that time. I'm doing whatever they tell me to do. I'm excited to be there. And like I think one of my things is I just go for it. This is that character. He does talk like this. Whether I agree with it as a person or not, this guy talks like this. This guy is not holding back. And I think that's something about movies in general, but just this movie specifically. It's like you got to be accurate to the people that are portraying this. People talk, all the lines that I say. I don't need to repeat it right now, but all the lines I say in that movie that are maybe inappropriate or whatever. It's like I gotta be honest, dude. Kids are talking like that,
mm.
and that's the reality.
Yeah,
So
and
we're
it's
just
a
like,
lot worse now with kids, isn't it? It's actually a lot
dude.
worse. Yeah, yeah.
So I think I don't have regrets, and I know people sometimes hit me up like, "Hey, do you feel bad that you said this?" And I was like, I don't really interact with it too much, but yeah, I mean, I maybe would have that conversation now, but at the end of the day, like we're just trying to be honest and accurate towards what these kids were,
Mm,
yeah, look, sometimes jokes do go too far, and sometimes there is a place where you're like, this has been inappropriate, and looking back at it, it's easy 15 years later to go, or even some movies, it's like 30 years later, it's like, it's easy to go back and say that was not shouldn't
mm,
have done that. Okay, well, that's a time capsule. Like there's things in John Hughes movies that are sort of inappropriate. You're like, well, you would never do that today.
mm,
But no one would ever consider John Hughes to be inappropriate. It's the times. I think that movie accurately captured 2010 high school.
mm.
So
Yeah, no, of course. So going back to the filming side of it, I know most of it and the majority of it was done in a studio, but were there any actual neighbours that complained about the movie being filmed? Did you get a lot of that?
So, like I said, that studio was like a neighborhood. We were on the offshoot of the studio, so it was like this like fake neighborhood with all these houses. But on the other side of that neighborhood was real people's neighborhoods, that people lived in. And so I know there was somebody. There was one. I think maybe like one of the producers or whatever, or someone who worked on the movie. I can't. It's been so long, I can't remember who, but I remember someone's job was at night to pay people off. And that's a common thing with movies. You go there and you pay them a few $100 or whatever to like, hey, sorry, it's going to be loud. Here's a few $100. Please don't call the cops or whatever. So I think there was a bit of that because we were blasting music at 5 a.m. And yeah, there was, I'm sure on this one specifically, that was a pain in the ass. Every movie has its issues with real neighbors, because people just don't want, you're living your life, you're trying to go to bed, and there's a movie shooting at 3 in the morning. But this one there was a lot of that. I remember, yeah.
You're making me jealous now. I think I'm gonna have to be there as an extra for the next one
Hey,
or something,
all right, we'll do it.
I could be an interviewer in the movie or something at the end of the
Yeah, we'll do,
second
we'll do.
one.
Come to my next party.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, if you could rewrite one scene to make it even crazier, what would it be? What scene would it be?
Make it even crazier. Wow, dude. I don't know if I can make that movie any crazier.
There's always ideas.
Jeez, I don't know. I don't know. How do you make that movie crazier? I mean,
Mm,
at one point I'll say this because we never made this, but there was a sequel at one point that was written that was about Thomas was at like a military academy, and like JB and I go there and we fuck up the military academy, and it was like fucking explosions and all this insane. So it was actually kind of fun. I mean, I don't know how great the script was at the time, but clearly not good enough that they were going to make it. But it was yeah, that's a crazier version. You get the military involved into the movie. It was
mm,
big Project X, the military.
yeah. How did you
Uh,
film the flamethrower scene? How was that filmed? Out of
stunt
curiosity.
stunt guy.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
But they had a I feel they had a real flamethrower. I mean, we were obviously a safe distance away. I think some of the trees must have been rigged up. So like when you would like shoot at the tree, like they were fake trees and they would like catch on fire and stuff like
That's
that.
pretty
But
cool. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Wow. Well, it sounds like it felt out of control a lot of the time when you were
It
filming.
really was. It was like it was sort of like doing a military movie. I mean, you were running
Mm,
like get down, fuck. Especially the last third of the movie.
yeah, yeah.
Super fun.
Um,
Excuse me,
I
sorry.
mean, we were talking about it a little bit at the start, but how do you feel that people were inspired to, copy the movie afterwards? I mean, would you promote that idea? Would you?
I'm not gonna promote that idea.
Yeah.
Definitely not promote that idea. I mean,
Mm,
like, uh, obviously people got to be smarter than like
mm,
some of the crazy shit that came out. I mean, like, it was insane. I mean, in some ways, you're like, oh, like when I hear people, I have people that tell me that, like, I was just in France actually, and this one of my friends, his kid was like, yeah, we used to throw Project X parties, but like they were tame.
mm,
Everybody's having parties, right? Every high school kid, your
mm,
parents by the time you're having a party. I did it. My brother did it. My parents did it. That's a common thing. We didn't reinvent that. But like calling it a Project X party and all my buddies coming over and we're having a rager and it's fun and it's safe. That's okay. But having a Project X party where you're like, trying to recreate dangerous elements of the movie or doing stupid shit. I mean, that's obviously like don't do that. You
mm,
know.
mm,
But yeah, I don't know. So it is wild when you're like, wow, all over the world they were throwing those parties. It's fucking crazy.
mm. No, it is. Yeah. A lot happened after. What are you working on next? Just quickly, is there anything
Uh,
else we can expect
yeah,
from you?
I have a movie. I don't know if you saw but I'm sure people did. Megan, the movie Megan, that was like the horror movie Megan with the little doll. We did a spin off of that movie called Soulmate with an eight. And that's coming out. It's supposed to come out January. I'm not sure. Like I think it's coming out in January. But that's like a Blumhouse movie, and that's cool. I have a
Wow.
fun part in that. And I also wrote this movie called Bert. which is Burt. You actually check it out. Go to burtthemovie.com, where it's an independent film that I wrote and acted in. It's a little more maybe on the dramatic side, but it's also funny. And if people want to check that out, there will be places to see it, and we'll be releasing it digitally early next year.
Wow.
So
We'll get it all on email blast for you and do some mass marketing.
boom,
We'll have to
boom
do
to the
it.
break it dawn, yo.
There we go.